Hi everybody, George here, Catholic Positive Energy. Today I have some honest stories about things that we learn throughout our lives and how we can use positive energy to help. Now, today I want to talk about something that I don't like about the world. Something that's very true, but I will end it on a positive note. Now, obviously, whenever we grow up in this world, and we're little kids and we first start going to school and we start interacting with people, we experience a lot of things. A lot of things that are not good. Nice to see Laura's here and Gus here watching on the Facebook page. Hello. Thanks for joining me. So, you see, when we're little kids and our world leaders force us to go to public school, we experience a lot of things and a lot of negative energy. Now, this is not going to be about politics, just hear me out. Now, I know this is not a perfect world, but I will say when I was a kid and I first started going to school, I had a lot of bad experiences. Very terrible ones. And I know a lot of other people who do as well. When you put a bunch of people, especially kids, and you force them to be in one place and they have to interact, they're not always going to get along. And they're in a classroom with one teacher who's supposed to be, observing and monitoring and maintaining order and keeping them out of trouble. But it doesn't always work out that way. I'll try to be careful how I say this because I don't know if we have any school teachers watching here. But when you look at it from the kid's point of view, okay? Kids are there to, hopefully enjoy themselves, have a good time, and, hopefully get along with the people around them. They don't. They're forced to do things, they pretty much, they have to ask permission when to go to the restroom. They have to ask permission to, do this or that. They're told when they're allowed to eat. And they're told when it's recess. And a lot of times it really warps their mind in a negative way, because they're hoping, the kids are hoping that the teacher will be nice to them enough to a point where they like them and like being there. But none of them do. A lot of those kids don't like being there. Now I'll get to my point here. When they grow up, when these kids eventually grow up and become adults, they're going to remember all these bad, terrible things and negative times that they were growing up in school because they were forced to do this or that, or because, a certain teacher or a certain adult working within their school treated them badly, told them to do something, and they didn't want to do it, they didn't agree with it, and then they got in trouble or they got yelled at, they got treated badly, and, it caused a lot of really bad things to happen within their minds, and it tends to stay with them as they grow up. You see, that's one thing I see in the world that is very negative, that causes bad things to happen within the minds of human beings, young human beings, and then as they get older, it stays with them, and it doesn't always help. I hear a lot of people tell me stories all the time, and a lot of their negative stories usually has something to do with, something bad that happened while they were in school, growing up as a kid. Yeah, that's my story too. I was homeschooled for, a little while, and I liked it. I really did. I don't really have a lot of good thoughts about public school. But for those of you who do, I think that's great. It's just, my thoughts Well, I've already said it. And here's something I've noticed. When these kids are poisoned while they're very young, they take it with them even as they're adults. And that's one of the things that causes negative energy all throughout this world. Someone's treated really badly when they're a kid. It happens for a lot of years. And then they're adults, and then they're working somewhere with other people. And then they tend to carry on the cycle. You know, the teachers or their classmates or whoever didn't really care about them. Then, you know, they're not their friend. I'm just there to deal with you. And then they tend to carry that cycle on. I've talked about in a previous video about importance of caring. Well, you see, that's what I see is wrong with the world. There are a lot of people in this world who don't care about one another. And it's a vicious cycle. And that's one of the main problems that we have in this world about negative energy. Now, I know we're not going to care about every human being who we see or who we deal with on a regular basis, like coworkers, neighbors, or whoever. But the fact that this is a vicious cycle, and it's caused a lot of times by people who work with kids, I just find it to be a vicious cycle of negative energy that keeps happening, that is instilled on young people, and I don't like it. This is just how I feel and something I've noticed. Now, obviously, here's something I have noticed, and I obviously wish that, you know, people who, for those of you who probably work with small children, you know, I wish more people would be focused on instilling positive energy in them. Good qualities, structure, some, you know, good manners. You don't instill good manners in kids by yelling at them, scolding them, picking on them, belittling them, or giving them a hard time. You don't do that. I certainly, even as an adult now, if someone were to yell at me or give me a hard time, I wouldn't want to listen to something that person said. Now, if you want me to do something, I would like to, you know, to be talked to in a, you know, polite, calm, civilized manner. And that's what I do. Now, I don't work with kids, but when I interact with people, I try to treat them the way I want to be treated. You know, a lot of people don't think that way. But this is what I've observed in the world, you know, as far as a lot of negative energy and things that keep happening that never seem to end. We all need to do something about it. We really do. And, you know, this is just how I feel from what I've observed. I hope I'm not making anybody unhappy. This is a very serious topic. And, yeah, we as a community need to do as much as we can. You know, for those of you who have children, for those of you who work with small children or any kind of young people, when you show them a sense of kindness, you know, you don't necessarily have to be their buddy, but be kind. Just be kind enough to a point where by the time they walk away from you, they're happy. You know, people are always happier, obviously, when you're nice to them, when you treat them well. But especially, and you know, I probably won't say this too much, but I wanted to say this in today's broadcast. Hello, Karen. Nice to see you here. When you're talking to young people, especially, you know, people who are just little kids, you need to instill a sense of kindness in them. Let them know that they have great, intelligent minds and that they can do anything. But obviously, yelling at them and scolding them is going to tear them apart. And by the time they grow up to be adults, they probably will do some really, really bad things. So that's why why I'm speaking about this. If we show a sense of kindness to those around us, especially to younger folk, they will grow up to be outstanding citizens. I've been talking to some good friends of mine recently, and you want to know some things they told me? When I was a kid, I wish that more people would have said some nice positive things to me, or been more polite to me, or say, you are a very intelligent human being. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. See, I've noticed a lot of people don't normally talk like that anymore, especially when they're talking to younger people. They don't dignify them. They don't say positive things to them. I mean, they might say some things, but I'm talking, say positive things to young people that are going to stick with them forever. You always hear me say dignification is better than criticism. Well, especially when you're talking to younger people, not when you're talking to fellow adults. So yeah, I know this is a very serious, possibly somewhat of a hot button issue that I'm talking about right now. Please don't be offended. It's just, I'm just talking about what I see that is wrong in the world, that I don't know if anybody will even bother to fix it. But we as individuals, people who care about positive energy, people who want to see a more positive world, we need to start with, obviously, the next generation. Because it's the next generation that eventually will be, working as our world leaders, working in the world, functioning in society. You want to see more positive interactions, right? I mean, you don't want to see people continuing this negative, vicious cycle. So, that's just how I feel. And that's one of the things I see that is seriously wrong in this world. Like I said, I was treated very badly by my teachers growing up, and a lot of other people I know have as well. A lot of people have bad memories growing up, going to kindergarten through 12th grade. I had better memories in college, but by then I was already an adult. If I would have had much more better memories as a kid, I probably would have had more positive energy like this here much earlier in my life. So, let me know if you agree. I think I've said everything I've wanted to say here. But obviously, we need to identify what's truly wrong in this world and try to fix them. Like I say, I mean, if we had more people like Mr. Rogers or good, other wonderful people like my dear friend author Holly, who has a Facebook community just like mine, this world would be a better place. Obviously I do care about everybody. I really do. And we can only do so much as individuals, but if we work together in unison, you'll be surprised how much more positive we can make this world. Amen? Amen. Well, I've certainly thought of everything I could say with regards to this topic. Like I say, I mean, this was a very serious thing I talked about. I hope I didn't upset or offend anybody watching this. I was just being truly honest, and I hope all of you understand. But I do care about each and every one of you, and it is up to us to make this world a better place. It truly is. So, thank you guys. I should get going now, and I'll be back next Tuesday with a prayer broadcast for each and every one of you, my holy saints. So have a good week. God bless. And remember, Dignification is better than criticism.